Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TBT channel. A couple of weeks ago, I got these two radio control planes to review. They're both allegedly suitable for beginners. They're both under £70 and they both come with everything that you need inside of the box. We have a learner-friendly trainer-style bush plane capable of short takeoffs and landings, and we have a fantastic scale Spitfire. Now, with the 6 gyro gyros, 6 plane gyros, whatever it is, 6 axis gyro. It's very complicated words for a Friday. Both of these have a stabilization setting where if you fly it in beginner mode, if you let go of everything, they go back to level flight so that you can't theoretically crash them. They stop you from flipping it over upside down and things like that. Now, I fully expected this one to be the easiest to fly. It's slightly larger. It also has a brushless motor, which is nice. It has nice big wheels for takeoffs and landings, and it's a high level wing trainer. This one, on the other hand, it's a Spitfire. What can you say? They're iconic. It's a fantastic aircraft, fantastically maneuverable. It doesn't have a brushless motor. It only has a brushed motor with a gearbox, but it has a propeller that pings off very easily. In fact, pretty much, because the wheels on this aren't capable of taking off or landing on anything but smooth surfaces. We fly it without the wheels, so every time you bring it into land, the propeller pops off. Not an issue. You just pop it back on again. On looks alone, the Spitfire wins. But over the last couple of weeks, I've been flying it in my garden. Now, flying it at flying field is a completely different matter. You've got a huge amount of open space. You can fly big models there, small models there, it doesn't matter. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can play around doing acrobatics, but in a garden, you're more restricted for what you can do and how much space you have to do it in. So I've been flying them almost exclusively in the garden, and this is what I found. On intermediate, this one's very twitchy. Whoa, and almost upside down. But it will do a loop. And defying the ground, whoa. A lot more twitchy than you might expect. Putting it back in trainer mode. In trainer mode, it is very placid, but not as slow as you might think. Not necessarily that happy doing slow flight. See how much I can slow it down. See, it's struggling to turn now if I turn it down that much. Struggling for altitude. Till it hits the tree. So there you go. Go too slow and it tip stalls and goes into a tree. And it's off again. The good news is you can fly it into a tree. It doesn't do any harm, but you just feel it should be able to go slower than it does. You want it to go slower than it does. Could be the scale, could be the design. It's very easy to fly. You just expect it to fly slower. I daren't go any slower than that because it will stall and I'll be in another tree. I actually have one of the wing supports hanging loose. I'm going to have to bring it in and land it. But there you go. That's the trainer. Let's bring her in. Don't go into the trees again. Look at that. Almost hit it. So that's the Kiddie 500, or yeah, 560 actually, the Kiddie 560. That wasn't the first time I've flown it into a tree. It won't be the last. I've flown it into many trees. Those were soft trees that time. I've actually flown it headlong into the trunk of a tree. It did no harm. I also flew it into a wall when I got very confused, and that did it no harm either. It is still completely unscathed. Now let's have a little go with the Spitfire. By contrast, the Spitfire, which is faster and more agile, actually feels better at slower speeds. I've not had any instances of it kind of tipping. Slow speed fly pasts are an absolute doddle. It feels more sedate. Ooh, a little bit of a wobble there, but I'm going very slowly. But at these low speeds where you'd expect the trainer to be more user friendly, this just feels, I mean, it'll go fast as well. Let's put it on intermediate. It's a little twitchy. Let's try a loop. Oh yeah, little loop. And it banks tightly. It just, I don't know, feels easier. And it shouldn't be. It should be. Everything tells you this should be more difficult to fly. But in the garden, it just isn't. And it looks awesome. And even there, it must be about 70 metres away. Still see it quite easily. See it twitching away because we've got some wind going on side to side and it's correcting for it, but drop the speed a little bit more. I'm down to about a third on the stick for power. Over the camper van, missed it, so that's good. It won't loop on beginner, but you wouldn't expect it to, I suppose. Let's try another little loop. Back onto beginner. It flies scale nicely in beginner mode. Nearly got the washing line. Does make you appreciate, we're flying in the shadow here because it's November now and this side of the garden's in shadow from the trees. It makes you appreciate the lights on the trainer one. They are actually a lot more useful than you might think. A little dark when it's in the shadows. Okay, let's bring him into land, onto the landing strip. It's got no wheels on it. If you want to take off and land on grass, although I do need carpet rather than grass on here, this is still too long. The There we go. The trainer would be better. And there you have it. That's the two of them flying around in the garden. So what is my conclusion? This plane is awesome. It is a fantastic plane, and at 53 quid with everything you need at the box, in the box, it's great. You can take off from the ground, you can land it back on the ground. It doesn't go as slow as I expected it to. I think the reason is a lot of this style of plane have working flaps, where the early ones you can put them both down, and that gives you more lift, so you can really bring the speed down. You can virtually land them on a dime. This doesn't have that. It's a 50 quid model. I've got to remember that. But because I'm wanting it to do that, I think that's what's making me feel that it should be able to do that. So I think I'm being unfair trying to fly it as slow as I have been. The colour is brilliant. For finding it in the sky, the colour is absolutely brilliant. And it's considerably larger than the Spitfire. You know, if I put them wingtip on the table, you can see there's a big difference in size there. On trainer level, on the beginner level, it is the easiest thing in the world to fly. You can fly this. Anybody can fly this. On intermediate, it becomes twitchy. In an open field, that's actually an awful lot of fun. In a confined space, less so. Both of these models, when put onto full 3D, are a handful. They're very small. So we've got a brushless motor. That is a massive, massive benefit. You can crash it into trees, seemingly without any consequence at all, apart from having to get a stick to poke it out if it's stuck up in the top of it. Absolutely incredible. This will keep on flying for ages. I'm going to carry on flying it. I absolutely love it. But this to me is better. It looks better. It comes out of the box straight away looking like this. You don't have to put the wings on. You don't have to do anything. It all just clips together. I love the fact that the propeller just pings off when you land. You're not going to damage it. It doesn't have a brushless motor. I wish it had a brushless motor, and I wish it had the same wingspan as this one. But guess what? Eachine, who make this one, are bringing out at the beginning of December, availability beginning of December, a Mustang P51 of their Warbird series with all the same electronics in it, but it's got a 500 millimeter wingspan, the same as this one, and it's got a brushless motor, the same as this one. I'm ordering one. It's going to take a few weeks. It'll be over a month before it gets here, but as soon as it does, I'm going to be showing it to you. Buy one of these. You won't regret it. If you like a Spitfire, buy one of these. You will not regret it. You're going to love it. If you like the look of a trainer, you like the idea of a trainer, get this. It's cheaper than chips, and it will last an awful lot longer as well. They are both brilliant. But I will be reviewing the brushless one when it comes out. So all that's left for me to say is, if you want something to fly in the tiniest of spaces, the smallest of gardens, the most restrictive area you can, which flying model toy that I reviewed is going to be the easiest? Well, I'm afraid it's this one. The helicopter, easier to fly than both the planes, and you can fly it in your front room. Not a surprise. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.